Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all students. Today we're going to try to answer SPE 2017 science paper. As usual, the paper is 2 hours, and before you begin, you have to read all the instruction given. First of all, write down your name, your class, and the school in the boxes provided. You're not supposed to open the booklet until you're told to do so. There is two sections, section A and B, and you have to answer all in dark blue or black ink. Make sure to read each question carefully, and marks will be given at the end of each bracket. Every time you give a point, you will get 1 mark. And the total marks for this paper is 100. Alright, let's go to section A first. Answer all the questions in this section. You have to choose the best answer or completion for each question. So number 1. Figure 1 shows a glue that is used for fixing broken glass. It has a hazard symbol on it. So the focus on this first question is about hazard symbol. So underline it so that when you check your paper later on, you will know what to look for. And on figure 1, you can see that the hazard symbol is this skull. And usually when we look at this skull, it means it is dangerous. So take note of that. And the questions ask for the meaning of this hazard symbol, and I would advise you to answer it by elimination. Let's look at choice A first. Corrosive substance means it corrodes substance, or in a simple term, it melts substance. And usually it will have a symbol of a hand like that, and then of a liquid being dropped like that. So it's not a explosive. Usually have a symbol where an object is exploding. You can see some sort of explosion somewhere there. So it's not B as well. Flammable means it catches fire easily. Therefore, it will be represented by a diagram of a fire. Therefore, it's not C. And D, toxic, means it can be lethal. And these mean it's dangerous. Therefore, the answer is D. Second question, study the diagram in figure 2. So in the figure 2, you can see two students are doing experiment. One of them are heating test tube on a Bunsen burner. Which of the following safety precautions should be taken by the students when heating some liquid in a test tube? So you should take note, they're asking about safety precaution, and they're also emphasizing that they are heating liquid in a test tube. So what are the things that they're supposed to do and things that they're not supposed to do? Let's look at the choice. A. Cover the mouth of the test tube with a rubber bunk. So if you put a rubber bunk, this is a test tube, and you cover on top of it while heating, it will create pressure. The reason why you create pressure is because liquid will change to gas, and this gas will cause pressure on the rubber bunk, causing it to go up, and that would be dangerous. So A is definitely a no-no. B. Use a wire gauze and tripod stand when heating. So wire gauze and tripod stand look like this. This is a tripod stand, and wire gauze is represented by X like this. And usually you only do this when you're heating using a beaker. If you pay attention to the diagram shown above, she is heating using a test tube, and she is holding it using a test tube holder. Therefore, it's not necessary to use big tripod stand and wire gauze in this instance. Therefore, B is also out. Place the workbook near the burner. Okay, that's a no-no, because as you know, book is a paper and it can catch fire easily. Therefore, C is out. And the only choice left is D, but let's double check. Point away the model test tube from another person. Yes, you should never point it to any of your friend because it can be dangerous. Therefore, the answer for this question is D. Let's go question number 3 now. Hashim uses a stopwatch to measure the time taken for him to run one complete round at the field track. Figure 3 shows the stopwatch at the start and at the end of one complete round. At the beginning, the time is 2 minutes, 6 seconds, 79 milliseconds, ended with 4 minutes, 17 seconds, 0.90 milliseconds. How long does it take Hashim to finish one complete round? Now, if you look at the choices, there's hours and minute. And from the statement there, time taken for him to run one complete round in a field track. When you run on a field track, it shouldn't take hours because it also mentioned here one complete round. It's very unlikely when you run in a field track it will take hours. Therefore, A and B is out. Next one is just simple maths. Use your calculator to answer this one, or you can just write down before and after. And to do calculation for this one is just easily after minus before, or initial minus final. Okay, let's use initial minus final, which is better. Initial mean at the beginning, final mean at the end. And if we calculate it for 1790 minus by 206 and 79, you should have 1 1 1 1 and 2, and the answer is C. Let's continue. Question number 4. Figure 4 show a milk being poured into a measuring cup. So milk on top, followed by the measuring cup at the bottom. Which physical property of milk can be measured directly using the cup? So when we talk about milk and when we talk about measuring cup, this one can be compared to a beaker. And as you know, milk is a liquid. And liquid in a beaker, we are measuring their volume. Therefore, if you look at the choice, you can see the choice is D. We cannot measure area using a beaker because area you have to use formula, and this one is irregular shape object, so you have to find out the density as well. So A is out, B is out, C is out. So area, you use the formula. Density, you also use formula, which is density equal to mass over volume. And mass you need to use and balance. In this case, just write down electronic balance. Again, please take note, all of these are what we call as the physical properties: area, density, mass, and volume. Okay, I hope everything is okay so far. Number 5, study the diagram in the figure 5. So figure 5, you're given a sketch on a square grid. And if you look there, 1 square represents 4 millimeter squared. So this is very important, which means that whatever that you have counted, you need to times by 4 millimeter squared. We have to count the full square first. If a full square, like this one, filled with everything, we consider that as 1. if it's more than half or exactly half, we also consider that as 1. If the diagram is like that, less than half in any way, it is considered as 0. So let's have a look. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is 5, 6, 7. This one you can say it's more than half, 8, 9, 10. This one is less, 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 less. Therefore, altogether you have 10. And 10 times 4 millimeter square, you should get 40 millimeter square. Let's have a look at the choices. If each square has an area of 4 millimeter square, what is the approximate area enclosed by the leaf in figure 5? And we have done our calculation, therefore the answer is B. There will be no elimination for this one because the question is direct to the point. Don't forget to write down your answer in the box. And let's continue with the next one. Figure 6 shows the initial. Initial mean the start or the beginning. The starting length of a spring and the length of a spring after. So this one means at the end. A mass of 100 grams is attached to it. So you can look there before and after. What is the difference in length caused by the 100 gram mass? Now you have to look at the spring. At the very end of the spring, if you look at the spring there, this is the spring and that is the measurement. So this one is 90, 91, 92, 93. And if you look on this side at the end of the spring, it's now this is 90, this one should be 85, 86, 87, 88. So it's being pulled down. So from 93 become 88. So you just have to minus it. So 88 minus 93, you will have 5. In this case, negative 5. But since it's being pulled down, it is the same thing. Therefore, the answer is not there. Let me double check again. 90, 91, 92, 93. And the one here is 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. Oh, it's at 85. I look at the wrong stuff. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. So don't be careless. So you can see that even I can be careless. You need to double check your answer properly. Therefore, 85 minus 93 should be negative 8 or 8 centimeter. Therefore, the answer is C. Again, make sure you check your answer at all time and you compare the same thing at the end of the spring and at the end of spring here. Just now I mislook on top of here, which create mistakes. Question number 7. Figure 7 shows the mass of measuring cylinder taken before and after some liquid are poured into it. Before, you can see that there is no liquid in it at all, and you can see here by the second one there's a volume. So the volume before or initial is actually 0 cubic centimeter. The unit is given on top there as well. And the final one, just have to measure it. So 50 is here, therefore 60, 70, 80 cubic centimeter. The mass of each beaker is 180 gram and 250 gram. So let's have a look at the question. What is the density of the liquid? So in order to answer this question, you need to remember the formula of density first. density, always write down whatever you remember at the side, is equal to mass over volume. This is compulsory for you to memorize because you're going to use this until forever and ever. And it says there the mass, it become 250 from 180 gram. So you have to minus these two numbers. So mass is actually 250 minus 180. Therefore you get, use your calculator to solve this simple question, you get 70 gram. Therefore your mass is 70 gram. And the volume from the diagram above, you have the final minus initial, so volume, just write down 80 minus 0, therefore you get 80 cubic centimeter. And let me double check, 250 minus 180 is 70 grams, so 80 cubic centimeter. And use your calculator to solve this. Let me choose my calculator as well. 70 divided by 80, and you should get 0.875 gram. So you have gram here, just copy it, and then it says divide gram, divide cubic centimeter, and the closest one here is 0.88. Therefore the answer is B. Let's continue. Question number 8. So if you realize a lot of the question asks about measurement, so you have to be good with the measurement, which include density, area, volume, and all of the others as well. So number 8, study the diagram in figure 8. So there are few steps in this question. So let's have a look at one by one. Step L, measuring the new volume of water after adding the pebble. So you have pebble here, then you have I to C, and then the pebble is attached to a string, and the water is inside the measuring cylinder. And you have electronic balance or scale to measure the mass of the measuring cylinder. You also measure the mass of the pebble. So I believe if you measure two different things, you will be calculating density as well. And you're measuring the mass of the water inside the cylinder, and at the same time measuring volume of the water without the pebble first. Azim want to find out the density of the pebble. So if you look here, density, which of the following is the correct series that he should take? If you look at the previous question on top, we have to find the mass first, so we have to find the volume first, then only we can calculate the answer. Therefore, the calculation must be at the end. And if you look at the choice here, you can see that the calculation is here, calculation, and it's step B, which means that must be on the last step. And if you look at the choices, only these two have step B at the end, so you can eliminate A and B easily. Now let's have a look at the step. Let's look at C first. C mentioned that step N, where you measure mass of a pebble, followed by step O, which is measuring the mass of the cylinder with water, and followed by step L, which is measuring new volume after adding the pebble. Now the thing is, in order to find the density of a pebble, you need to find the mass of the pebble and the volume of the pebble. You do not need to find the mass of the measuring cylinder. Therefore, you need to find the volume of the water and the volume of water with it as well. So L and Q is correct. And if you look there at D, it says step O. You do not need to measure the mass of the water at all. Therefore, you can eliminate D, and the answer is C. Question number 9. 1 liter of water at 30 degrees Celsius is mixed with 1 liter of water at 50 degrees Celsius. What is the expected final temperature of the water? Okay. Now, this one is to test your critical thinking. 30 degrees Celsius is warm water. 50 degrees Celsius is hot water. You have to visualize this. Imagine you have a liter of hot water here and you added some warm water. So you expect the temperature to decrease a little bit. You don't actually add the number and divide by 2 because that's not how it works. So the approximate temperature will be this 50 degrees will become slightly less. So most likely the temperature will be around B. Should be around B. In this case, you're fortunate because 50 plus 30 is actually 80, and then you can divide by 2, which become 40 as well. And number 10, figure 10 shows how a pupil of eye dilates when a person steps into a dark cinema. So in the bright room, the pupil is small. In this one, the pupil become large. So if you look there, there are changes observed as the environment is changing. So bright room, dark room is the environment. One has more light, one has less light. And every time there's changes in the environment, we can say that we are responding to these changes. And which of the following characteristics of living thing does this show? When we respond to something, we respond to stimuli, which is the changes in the environment. Therefore, the answer is D. Living things are made of cell. That one is correct, but it's not conclusive to this one. Living things reproduce, living things grow and develop, but it's not talking about the response that you have in this one. Therefore, the answer is D. Number 11. Yanti saw an organism X and recorded her observation below. The body is divided into two parts. It has no wings, so we can take note of this thing. It has 4 pairs of legs. Based on observation, what is animal X likely to be? First of all, it says there's 4 pairs of legs, and it says no wing. You can see this one has many legs. Out. It says no wings. This one has wing. Out. And then the body is divided into two parts. Part of this has 2 parts, and then it says that it has 4 pairs of legs. Just count 4 pairs mean 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 out. And this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Therefore, the answer is D. Number 12. Study the chart below. Leaf, you have 2 kinds of leaf. One is wavy, one is smooth, and the wavy one has oval shape and heart shape, while the other one has round and small and long and thin. In which group, A, B, C, or D, does the leaf C in figure 11 belong to? So this one is observation. You can see that the leaf in the diagram given here is wavy, therefore it must be here, and you can eliminate immediately C and D since it has wavy edge, not smooth edge. And you have to look at the shape, whether it's oval shape or heart shape. And in this case, you can see that if oval, it will be like this, similar to this one. If heart shape, it will be more toward like that, wavy like that. Therefore, the answer for this one is A. Number 13. Figure 12 represents 3 states of water labeled X, Y, and Z. And you can see all of these are talking about the arrangement of the particle, and X, the particles are arranged properly, therefore it's a solid. In Y, the particles are spread around, therefore it's gas. And Z, the particles are not arranged properly, but it's still there, therefore it's liquid. Which of the following correctly identified the state of the water in figure 12? And since we have already answered there, just have to verify. X is solid, solid. And then second one is gas. And then third one is liquid. Therefore, the answer is D.